Good morning. Good morning. What's happening, family? Welcome to the show. It is Michelle Bryant here at WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. You are listening to the saddest little show today. Brothers in the studio just moping. Jermaine putting his sadness all over everything, just sprinkling it. Giannis is being traded.
I ain't sad.
I didn't say you, Clark. We know it's Jermaine.
WNOV.
Look, he just looks so disgusted. So we will try to work through the day. I don't know what type of participation we're gonna get from the sad one, but yes, the inevitable has finally happened. The Bucks can't never keep nobody good. It just is always a matter of time before people leave the city. At least we got a championship out the deal. But I'll get to you, little sad one. I'll get to you. Let me go to Clark first. Clark Kent.
Who you with?
I'm with the sad one. How are you today, bruh?
I'm okay. I'm doing good.
Good.
I'm cool. I ain't sad about it.
I was gonna say, and why are you not sad about it?
Because if you want to go, you want to
Man.
go. But I'm sad they got rid of Bobby.
Bobby Portis?
Yeah.
Blue collar Bobby?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, now his playing might have been all of that. But his whole blue collar mentality, that was working my nerves. I'm sick of Milwaukee and Wisconsin with this blue collar foolishness. And, Holiday was my man.
Right.
That was disturbing. Yeah, Holiday was my man. That was disturbing to me. Bobby Portis seemed like he'd be saying stuff. I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. Bobby be trying. Bobby be trying. Yeah, okay, I ain't gonna say it. Because I want to put that out there.
One of them real brothers left.
I mean, is it any black men still play for the Bucks? We got a all white team. we got them chicken sales about to be slow in the mug. Is it any brother still play for the Bucks? Okay, so let me go on over to Jermaine. Mr. Rideout, how you doing today, sir? Oh yeah, he real quiet. I'm telling you, just sad. He hardly went over the door when I came in. He just moving so slow. Because I was here real early this morning and on time and ready to go. A whole 2 minutes before the show started. But come on, Mr. Rideout, get it out.
Shell,
brother's gonna work it out. Get it out.
Today is a real somber day.
Is it?
Shell.
Jesus, here we go.
Before I talk about my feelings, I want to say it's
look, Shelby checking in from Ohio. I'm sad too.
Thank you, Shelby.
Giannis and Bobby Portis. Whatever.
Shell, it's kind of warm outside.
Here we go.
And even the skies is showing
what
how sad the skies
what are the skies?
Because it's not fully sunny outside.
They're not showing anything.
They're showing how they feel about this whole Giannis trade.
Why you getting all loud? Why you getting all loud?
Shell, I am really in my feelings because
I understand, bro. I understand.
Prior to us winning this championship in 2020, it was 50 years.
Yes. We was feeling like New York up in this piece.
Shell.
Like the Knicks.
I'll be 50 in a few months.
Okay.
So if that's the standard timeline,
you won't see another one.
No, I'm gonna be 100 when it comes back around. So I knew it was going downhill when Drew left.
Go ahead.
When they traded Chris Middleton.
Go ahead.
I knew they was breaking up the band. It was a matter of time. The money was funny. I'm just gonna be honest with you. NBA 2K ain't gonna be the same, man. That's what I'm really sad about. NBA 2K for the Bucks is not going to be the same, man. So all of you gamers out there that know what I'm talking about.
And I ain't trying to be. I'm not trying to be racist.
Oh man, we suck again,
But
man.
do y'all have any black players on the team?
Man, we suck again, man. We suck again.
It's real like Boston up in here.
We're real Swedish up in here, man.
Can anyone say the Celtics? Anyone?
Man.
Oh my God! Well, look, bro.
We suck again.
You know, he said we suck. we
suck
again.
Man.
Well, so what they say? Oh, good morning, folks on YouTube and Facebook. Glad YouTube is back online. Bobby Portis and Holiday were my favorites. Their personalities and community involvement, especially. Somebody else said, good morning. WNOV, this radio show really makes my morning. We thank you for that. We appreciate you. City has nothing to look forward to.
Nothing.
It's a bandwagon city now. What does that mean? They got the little baseball and the football on there, but so I said, my sister, you silly. She said, my sister's tickled this morning. Because Jermaine's so sad, y'all. I knew it.
Man.
As soon they said cheap merch now, you'll be able to get them cheap Bucks jerseys.
Look, it ain't even
tickets gonna be cheap again.
It ain't even a deer district.
Families can return to the
the
Bucks arena.
Because
the tickets about to be cheap again.
$25 like the one Mr. Bradley said.
All the kids at MPS, y'all gonna be getting Bucks tickets. They're gonna be giving away thousands of Bucks tickets.
Man.
Oh my God!
It ain't even a deer district anymore. Puppy district.
Oh, you said it's not a deer district?
No, it's the puppy
the
district.
Puppy district.
Yeah, man.
Should that be the same thing?
Man, we suck.
Should it be
again,
like
man.
a doe district?
Man, we suck.
We go from the deer district to the doe district.
Listen, how we get a whole bunch of. I ain't gonna say it.
You got some on your lip, man.
I got something in my heart. No, y'all don't understand, man. I am hurting this morning, man.
Yes, Jermaine, we
Last
understand.
night,
you and Keith can cry together. Last night,
you know, when my sources called me and told
me and
me,
my homie,
I got word from my sources.
We
Y'all
cried.
I couldn't believe it.
Cried
I ran out of my house.
together.
Man, we suck again.
Yes, we
Cry together.
Keith and him cried together. I'm telling you.
So we just go hugging. Well, Keith gonna be in
Oh yeah, he really sad because you know he all at the house by himself. He ain't got nobody to commiserate with.
I don't know because Keith is really like a bandwagon type.
Yeah, he is. He
jump on
he's not a loyal fan at all.
I ride or die. I go down with the ship.
Well, go on down there.
Yeah, we suck again.
I'm going down.
You ain't around, Giannis. My whole world is up.
They said the Bucks gonna surprise.
Who said that? Who said that?
They
True
gonna surprise
fan.
us.
The Bucks are gonna surprise folks.
Yeah.
Watch.
I'll tell
Young
you what
again.
the surprise is gonna be.
Yeah, what is it gonna be?
Surprise me. We suck again.
We suck again.
Man.
The Herb Cole years are back.
Man, we suck again, man.
Okay, I'm gonna get off this because I want people to be sad. But if you want to get something off your chest about Giannis, you know, going to welcome to Miami. All right,
I can't stand it.
I'm just saying. It seems like that's where everybody goes. That's where everybody goes to kick it.
Now, I'm
Have
going
a
to be
good
honest
time.
with you.
What's that, Jack?
If it was me
Yes.
and I got the opportunity to wake up every day to palm trees and warm air,
I'm out.
I holler.
I'm out. I'm out.
Hey,
Look,
from a distance.
it doesn't even got to be palm trees and the ocean and the sun.
Yeah. You say Miami?
Just to have a club to go to.
Hey, I'm out of there.
And when you celebrate the championship, your championship celebration don't have to be going to Chick-fil-A.
Listen,
Because that's all he had to do here.
that's all he
Cats
did.
won the Super Bowl. Cats won the NBA
This cat,
championship and they had nowhere to kick it. They had to leave the city of Milwaukee to go party in earnest.
and they talk about us so bad on the national media. Jeff T was like when we won the
It wasn't nothing to do.
Cats went down to Brownstone and stood around for a second and then left and jumped on the plane.
Got on planes and got out of here.
That's because we don't.
And
have
it was
those
some folks
spots
already
anymore,
had
man.
they private jets and stuff already set up because there's nothing to do.
Now we used to have a spot downtown called 702 that all of the basketball players used to go to.
I mean, it was back in the day.
nice.
We've had a few because whether it was Maryland's back in the day,
yeah.
cats used to go in there. I think that's where I met Shaq for the first time. Was up in
They
Maryland.
used to go down.
It was places for them to go.
Yeah,
But
702
this foolishness we got going on now.
It's nothing. So I
I'm
really
like-
don't blame them, to be honest.
Yeah,
with
like
I
if you
don't.
young and you want to kick it, you got money to spend because like they can work here, but then they got to leave here to go kick it.
Yeah.
You know, and man, I ain't got time to be flying out every time I want to do something. And when people are trying to figure out, like, it was so cool the way they created the whole Deer District, that
That was all
atmosphere,
'cause of
that
Giannis.
vibe. You know, that's that New York influence
Yeah.
with the Lazarys and
Yeah.
Fagan. Because what do I say all the time about people here having small town mentality?
Yeah.
It took people from out of the city to create that Deer District
Yeah.
and to have that vision and to show you what it's supposed to be like
Yeah.
when you're doing an NBA game and watching a party.
Yeah.
But you know, you got too many of these folks around here. Like all they talking about is my littering and my this and my that, and I'm like, y'all, where's the growth and development?
Yeah.
Like that attracts people. That's why I said we keep dodging bullets when we, missed out on having the DNC here. Because we don't have enough hotel space in this town.
Yeah.
And then anytime somebody talks about building a hotel, you got all of the current owners who want to push back because you don't want no competition. We don't have enough, nightlife entertainment options, here. I'm like, can we get what is that? Top Golf? Can we get
like at least that?
There's nothing to do. If I'm not drinking or eating, there's nothing for me to do downtown.
Yeah.
You know, I got, you can't shop downtown.
Because it ain't no malls.
There ain't no malls. You can't, I mean, so you just look at some of these people, but what Tom Bear say, oh, I'm happy being in Mayberry. I love Mayberry. Well, he didn't say that, but that was the equivalent.
So you know what it is, Shell? And I hate to say it, but back in our day, like in the 90s and the early 2000s, downtown was thriving. We had clubs Club Pure, we had the Park Bar, we had the City Club, we had Chocolate City, we had 702. So we had plenty of stuff to do, but the issue is we got to acting stupid. And I'm going to say we because we was a part of that culture. We got to acting stupid and took advantage of the spots that we had to go to, because if you couldn't get in Club Pure, you can go up the street to the Park Bar, and there was hundreds of people in the Park Bar. If you couldn't get in the Park Bar, you can go to the City Club. Get in the city. If you couldn't get in the City Club, you can go to Chocolate City. Chocolate City had us on the rooftop. If you couldn't get in Chocolate City, you can go out to the Empire Room. You couldn't get in Empire Room, you can go to Red Corvette. You couldn't get in Red Corvette, you can go to Simone's or People's or Brown's or Lutz or Matrix. But now all these joints are gone. Club Escape. It was stuff to do every day. But again, we kind of did it to ourselves.
Well, I know that things happened, but I'm not going to say that we were, definitely not in totality, the reason why a lot of these spots closed down. There are all kinds of things when you think about like ARJs, ownership gets older, people make different decisions, it gets passed on to other people, stuff not run the same.
That's what happened.
Even like the tavern feel, like, jeans, it just didn't feel the same. MVP just went on hiatus and like ain't never really been able to come back. But the one thing, to your point, if we want things, we have to protect those things.
That's right.
And but that also, now see, you could have administrations too. And you could have common council members too, who get, work with the police, work with the local, club, tavern owners, because look, I value these establishments in my community.
Right.
So we're going to make sure that security is beefed up, that police patrols are beefed up, so that y'all gonna come out and kick it.
Yeah.
But the minute you act a fool, you're gonna be out of here.
Yeah,
Because the thing that stops people from acting a fool in these other communities is they know they'll get arrested ASAP.
I agree.
You'll be gone. And so if I value those, because I know what we do when we want to save something, when we want to protect something, when we want to keep something in our community. I see what, elected officials do and partner with law enforcement. And no, it doesn't have to be a police state, but that same fear that folks got when they go in other communities that prevents them from showing they behind, we need to have it in our community.
That's right.
Because you can run red lights in Milwaukee all day long. Yeah. Ain't nothing happening to you for real. Yeah. All day long. I sit, and the biggest thing I got is my horn. Because y'all just some clowns. Wow. But you go to other places and you know how to act with no problem. Zero problem. Ain't that so? That's crazy. But you need an overseer and a master. That's why.
Say it again.
Yeah, I'm just saying, you can't just be amongst your people and have good sense. Yeah. You gotta have somebody standing over you.
Telling you what to do.
That's right. Threatening your behind. All right, let me just mention this real quick. We have a number of seniors that are getting ready to leave to go to college. First of all, graduations is happening this week. Congratulations to all of the young people and their families who have reached this milestone, crossed that bridge. You about to do the dang thing, whether you're going to school out of state, in state, deciding to go into a trade, maybe go to MATC, try to get on with the fire department, police department, whatever it is you're doing. First of all, congratulations. Just understand that while the journey ahead is still long, you get to write a lot of it. And you got options and choices that a lot of us didn't have when we was growing up. Resources. Even if your parents is not, showing up in the way that they could for you, there are other resources now that kind of backfill some of those gaps. So a couple of things I want to mention real quick. On June 26th, MPS is doing a senior send-off. So from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m., the district is celebrating the class of 2026. It is hosted by the College and Career Centers. There's going to be food, music, games, prizes that you can win for stuff like your dorm room. So TVs, residence hall essentials. And this is happening over at Wickfield, which is right next door, right down from the MPS Central Office Building, 4929 West Valete Street. This is happening again on June 26th from 11:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Have the young people go and check out, what's going on. Maybe they have an opportunity to win some of the things that they need to take to their dorm rooms. Every dollar helps. Everything helps. That's one less penny you got to spend on that to help pay for now your airfare, your transportation costs, because the worst thing in the world is these kids get into these schools and then don't nobody have a way to get them down there. The other thing I want you to understand is that the college and career centers are going to be open through the summer. So we have a couple of them. South Division has one, North Division has one, and you are able to drop in between Monday and Friday, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. all summer long, so that you can get the help that you need as you are talking about college enrollment, your FAFSA, your financial aid forms, scholarship information. And they have 4 of these college career centers that are going to be open all summer long. South Division, North Division, Marshall High School, and the Wisconsin Conservatory of Lifelong Learning. That one's over off of 12th Street, 1017 North 12th Street. So there is no excuse. People talk about the summer learning gap and not being prepared. Make sure, young folks, that you are reaching out for help and keep asking. People may be busy. People like, okay, I'm gonna get back to you. That's okay. Just say, hey, I just wanted to remind you, you're supposed to get back to me. Just want to remind you, you're supposed to get back to me. But I pray that you have a plan, that 18 is not catching you and you are now just sitting around trying to figure out if you're going to go get a job at Walmart or Wendy's. That's not the plan. That's not the plan. It is possible to go to college. Somebody said, good morning, can't find your show live on YouTube. Why? Nope, you do not have to pay for a subscription. It's on, we got people are looking at it on YouTube right now. So go to, refresh your browser because it was out yesterday. So refresh your browser and you should be able to catch the show. All right, y'all, let me take my first commercial break of the day. And then I know I got callers on the line. I'll get them as soon as I get back. Michelle Bryant, WNOV, 860 AM, 106.5 FM. Be right back, fam. All right, family, welcome back to the show. Let me go straight to the phone line because these folks been on hold. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning.
Good morning.
I want to say I apologize to Mr. Clark Kent. I had a moment yesterday. I hope he accepts my apology.
Uh-oh.
And then
I got to get the little dirt. What happened?
Tell him I can't hear him in the background saying he do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, you should be receiving a letter from me. I wrote you a letter, but so it should be there tomorrow or Thursday, but hopefully before Thursday.
Okay.
But anyway, just text me and let me know that you got it.
Okay.
You know.
Well, good.
Right.
Now that I have my phone, because I didn't have my phone all day yesterday, so I'll make sure I text
But
you.
I'm saying you text me when you do get it, because it's coming there. And
okay.
Yeah. But anyway, another thing too, with Giannis leaving, no more running Rebels help, because he did help that organization out. You know.
Maybe he'll stay connected even though he gone. Let's see. We hope.
And then we can get the bus back to run down MLK Drive completely. You know, the 19, because they cut it off on McKinley. And you can't go back, you know.
That's so
But
true.
anyway, hopefully that'll come back. All right. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you so much, sis. I appreciate you. Let me get the next caller. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Good morning, Michelle.
Hey, Angela, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. And yourself?
I'm good.
I just heard you say you were on your phone yesterday.
All day.
I was reaching out to you.
Oh, you know what? And I haven't checked yet this morning, but I will go through and hit you back.
Okay, because you missed our little appointment or whatever. We didn't have a certain time, but you said you was going to come to the house yesterday.
Yes, ma'am. I know. Yesterday was a little bit crazy.
Yes, I understand. I understand you're a busy person. So.
That's all right. We're going to make sure you're good.
All right. You all have a blessed day. Hi, Clark Kent. Who you with?
She said hi and say it.
Jermaine, I'm so sorry that you're sad. Your little book person is leaving, but you'll be okay. Somebody else will take his place, and you'll get sad when they leave, too. Y'all have a good day.
All right. You too, Angela. All right, y'all. So look, speaking of downtown, remember we were talking about the whole situation with the food trucks. A Milwaukee County Circuit Court judge has blocked a city curfew that tried to target food trucks. The Common Council had unanimously enacted an ordinance change back in late April that would have taken effect in early May, enforcing a ban on food trucks operating after 10 p.m. in Milwaukee's downtown and 11 p.m. in the Burnham Park neighborhood. Days before its enforcement, these are Republicans, the conservative Wisconsin Institute for Law and Liberty sued the city of Milwaukee on behalf of Abdallah Ismail, owner of Fatty Patty Food Truck, who argued the ordinance change would cause his business irreparable harm and violate his economic rights under the Wisconsin Constitution. The judge granted him an emergency stay on May 8th, preventing the ordinance from going into effect. After a fiery hearing on June 12th, and I got to figure out why it was so fiery because I missed this, food truck restrictions remained on hold as Judge Keys told attorneys she needed more time to prepare a written ruling on the request for a formal injunction. She issued a formal written ruling on June 22nd, in which she noted that the city offered no proof, just naked conclusions that shortening the hours of operations for food trucks would, quote, reduce or deter or unmotivate. Is that a word? Unmotivate the movement of crowds of people. in the city's entertainment districts between 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. And so the ordinance is not going into effect at this point. Who is this saying this? The ordinance was unlawful and should serve as a warning to local governments that they are not above the law. I wish I would tell Donald Trump that, Republicans, while y'all so busy trying to tell, the aldermen in the city that they not above the law. I wish you would tell y'all boy that. But anyway, Bob Bauman, who introduced the ordinance change, said it was in the interest of public safety. Food trucks was not harming your public safety, Bob Bauman. Go on with that. Bauman, whose district is in the home of the bars and the businesses on water, underscored his concerns following several shootings in the areas. And again, people that's going to shoot, they're going to shoot whether it's a food truck down there or not. What? Go ahead.
Say, in reality, they want to, disguise it as, keeping people safe, because they really don't want to say, man, that they want to keep young Black people from downtown because it's affecting their business. And that's what it really is about. The food trucks was just to hold.
And I think the food trucks, you probably had some of the brick and mortars who weren't happy that all them food trucks was down there too.
Exactly.
So privately behind the scenes, just like I said, anytime we start talking about a new hotel coming to the city, you got the folks who own the Marcus franchise who own like 2 or 3 hotels downtown. They always got a complaint. You don't want to see competition coming in. But again, if you got police presence downtown, that squashes some of that. You can have private security downtown, but no, we'd rather shut down somebody's ability to make money and pay taxes in this town and help to increase our economic activity and enhance quality of life. Because I'm gonna tell you, we left Qua's thing in the park on Saturday. I hadn't eaten all day.
Right.
And so we got out of there. It's about almost 10 o'clock. And we all were like, let's go get something to eat. And we had somebody in from out of town. And she was like, yeah, let's go. She wanted to get something to eat.
Right.
Trying to find some place that had a kitchen that was open after 10 o'clock.
Good luck.
That you got real food and not no bar food, but some real food after 10 o'clock. We ended up at Cheesecake Factory because that was the only place we could figure out where to go, that the kitchen was open, I think at least until 11, that you could get some real food. So
that's true.
The whole thing is just frustrating about the way we do business in this town, because we do have a small town mentality a lot, and there's no need. If you want to grow the city, if you want to grow your population, you got to have things here that people are attracted to do. I continue to say, sorry behind lakefront with nothing on it to do. You should be able to do something on the lakefront year round. And as I would say, all you got to do is go up the road to Chicago, see what they've been able to do.
Yeah.
And Tom Barrett, I don't suffer from Chicago envy. And that's why we have Nathan. That's why we have Nathan. And then his predecessors, the folks that come behind them, clearly same nonsense. Like, y'all, why is all that undeveloped down there?
Yeah.
We could be making money down there. Why is it all undeveloped? Why is that added to? You don't ever think lakefront for quality of life other than to take a walk. You ain't going to the lake to do nothing but take a damn walk.
And that's true.
That's all you're going down there for, unless it's the summertime and you got some volleyball games you can watch. And I'm not saying you disrupt the take a walk piece, but you can still do things that enhance quality of life. And they're going to come down there and act a fool. Well, put folks down there to stop them from acting a fool. Because all it takes is some well-played. When they started having those, even though I hated it, but when Sheriff Clark had those trailers sitting out there with the sheriffs out there, them Negroes quickly stopped.
And
they quickly stopped the foolishness.
I remember
and the white boys down there quickly stopped the
remember
foolishness. Because the white kids would act the fool on the opposite side.
Yeah, I remember that.
We would be on one side cutting up. They'd be on another side cutting up.
Yeah.
And all of that, it was awful because they was harassing people, it felt like to me.
I remember
But as long as you're conducting yourself, you shouldn't have no drama. So I don't know. But in any case, I'm glad that they were able to stop this from taking into effect. I thought it was unfair to the food trucks to try to put the blame of what's going on downtown on the back of these operations. You stopping hardworking Wisconsinites, Milwaukee residents in most cases, from being able to earn a living, make some money. And again, while y'all so damn busy, could you get that damn restaurant out the middle of the street? Could you get them out the middle of the street?
I hate that, man. That is dumb.
People ought to be sick of me talking about it.
That is the dumbest
But
thing.
I do not understand why that restaurant is still allowed to sit in the middle of the damn street with their tables and chairs. What's that? Water,
yeah.
I don't know what street
it's
it is.
It come out into the street.
Yeah, because it was done during COVID.
Yeah,
because when they had to have spatial distancing and people was going outside trying to figure out how to still keep. I got it during COVID, but those streets are paid for by the taxpayers of the city of Milwaukee. I need to be able to use that street when I come down the road and not have to drive over damn near into the other lane to be able to get by, so people can sit in the streets, suck in emission fumes while they're eating a burger and drinking a beer. Why is that and I just don't understand why nobody else is asking that question. Why is that restaurant allowed to still be in the middle of the damn street? It's madness. And trust me, if it was a black business, it would never be allowed. Yep. We would never receive that type of concession. And I don't understand it. And it ain't chic. It's not cute. You got some plants going around, but the cars is right there, and you sucking in whatever emissions is in there while you eat your food in the street. It look ghetto. It look 100% ghetto. It looks ghetto. But okay, let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello?
860 WNOV, good morning.
What's going on, bro?
WNOV, I know y'all hear us in Italy, Russia, Africa, Somalia. The number one station, WNOV, Michelle Bryant, and good morning to all her staff. Father's Day was a couple days ago, and I hope the fathers, man, they made it right. Stop the killers! And Milwaukee fathers, tell them brothers, man, sooner or later, your sons is going to be a father too. Ask Michelle Bryant. WNOV is the greatest station. I love this station. I love it so. It's like hammer you can't touch. Like Bam did the vote. I thought it was me, but I thought it was WNOV to make me feel this way. It's Wade Matthews in the hey, it's my prerogative. Everybody's talking about me. They say I'm crazy. I love your NOV. Meech, why you wanna hate on me? Hey,
we need to make a song.
It's my prerogative. I love WNOV. Michelle Bryant, I love you. Phil Count Kent, the rest of the crew, and the crew that before me. Hey, WNOV, I thought it was me, but I love WNOV. Peace out, and I love WNOV. And Ray Matthews, and I'm
Like, for real. Jermaine, you a songwriter. Dude, I need a song created that mentions all of our different listeners.
I can do that.
That calls into the show. Yeah. We need something that say, we got to get Al in there, Meech, JT, and another
Tyrone
thing,
W.
lady, Tyrone W. We gotta get
write down all of the names. I promise you.
Yes, we gotta get a song that highlights our frequent callers to the show. Angela, Solis, we gotta get a song. All right. So a couple of things. Just so folks know, I'm gonna talk about the gubernatorial race, but one of the candidates has dropped out of the race. Missy Hughes. I moderated along with David Boehm a candidates forum, governor's candidate forum over at the Howard Fuller School that was hosted by the Black Chamber of Commerce, along with a number of other partner organizations. And Missy Hughes was not in that. She didn't participate in that event. I was told that there had been one earlier that day. Voces de la Frontera had done one, and she hadn't been there either. And then now we are getting the news that she has discontinued her campaign. I could have told her, although, as I say, you have the right to run for office. You have the right to do anything you want to. Did it make sense? None at all. Name ID, nobody knew you. And it was already going to be an uphill battle. So the field has now narrowed by one. And there is going to be a gubernatorial candidates forum at North Division High School on this Saturday, 9:30. The doors will open. It's a 90-minute forum. It's going to run from 10 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. And it is focusing on health, equity, environmental justice, and affordability. So this has a specific focus. This forum is called Vote with Wisdom, and the hosts are the Wisconsin Eco Justice Base Builders, and another of other groups are partnered at the table on this. But everybody is confirmed to be there with the exception of the Republican candidate. And I know, let me see. I know like there are additional partners. I know the NAACP is a partner. Community Brainstorming is a partner. I don't see the list with everybody's. But I'm going to have somebody in from one of the groups that is helping to spearhead this on the show to talk about, what's going on and encouraging people to come out. The one that Ruben did over at the Black Chamber, it was well attended. Interesting conversation. I will say that. Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez raised eyebrows when, and I understood what she was saying, but I said, see, this is why y'all not having no black folks around y'all show up. Y'all not having real diversity around y'all shows up, because in a black room, predominantly, well, let me say this, in a black community, in a school founded by a black man, she said she no longer uses the term diversity, equity, and inclusion. That she just talks about, the issues. And she gave the example of asking, like people in rural Wisconsin, why would you be against blah, 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 blah? Because these people have made DEI such a dirty word. So I'm saying to myself, so if they make African American a dirty word, you're not going to say African American no more? If you believe in something, you believe in something. And I'm not going to run from phrasing to appease people. I'm going to educate you why this is appropriate. But because I guess she has encountered people that are so blinded by their ignorance, and that the mere term alone, it does not resonate for them, that everybody benefits from DEI initiatives. Everybody. Because it's about inclusion. So whether you are physically differently abled, you are racially different, you are economically different. When they say underrepresented and underserved, that's people of a certain income bracket that don't traditionally get an opportunity at certain things. So the same way they created under the guise of giving poor kids an opportunity to go to a better performance school when they first came up with the choice program, which ended up being a bunch of BS, but it's that same concept. It's not just about, oh, y'all think y'all getting ready to do something to help black people, shut it all down. You shutting everybody out. And so, I just kind of looked at her when she said that, like, hey, fam, I just can't believe you just said that in the room on the north side of Milwaukee, that, yeah, I don't use that term anymore. I was floored. That's not a strategy. It's an insult. It's not a strategy. Another thing that stood out at the candidates forum. So evidently, when these forums have been happening, and they've been happening all over the state, a couple of the candidates have saw fit to talk about the fact that electability matters. The inference being that the three minority candidates in the race could you get elected in a predominantly white state, 89% white state? And so, but it didn't come up on the North Side Forum. And it was pointed out that didn't come up. But you do it when you're in white communities. And these are some of the white gubernatorial candidates. I think Sarah Rodriguez in particular. And I know some folks that said she said it. I don't remember if Joe Brennan was the other person that they have said have raised this in other communities. I actually spoke to Kelda Royce about it, and she was like, yeah, that's not what I do. But that was not lost on people, that in other forums, in other rooms, in other settings with other people, that the term electability comes up. And so you get down, in the neighborhood, and now we're not going to question whether or not minority candidates on the ballot, and minority being, racially, if they have a chance of getting elected. And it's so funny because think about it. One of the candidates, Lieutenant Governor, you statewide office. It was only one other person that was sitting on the panel that had been statewide office. So I'm questioning the electability of one of the candidates who already had won statewide office. That's Mandela Barnes. Electability, Francesca, electability, David Crawley. So it was an interesting little undertone, little current that was happening in the room as well. And then finally, one of the things that I noted as the commentator, because when the question about DEI came up, people were talking about, oh, I've done this for communities of color. Oh, I've done this. Oh, I've done this. I've done this. I said, but who have y'all hired though? How many of y'all got black folks on y'all staff? Got black folks working in your offices? Got black folks working on your campaigns? Because the overwhelming majority of y'all do not have any black folks working in y'all capacities. And you can see, and I said this I'm paraphrasing the way I said it, but that was the gist of what I said. And you can see faces change. James Brown, I don't need you to do nothing for me. Open the door and I can do it for myself. I don't need you to keep telling me what you're going to do for me. I need to understand what you're willing to do with me. I'm not some child that needs to be managed, taken care of. We are a group of people who come to contribute. And we contribute at every level. But there are folks, and this is the other part, because it's not a wealth of black political strategists and campaign directors. It's not a wealth of them in our city. But what I watch people do is they go outside our city to find folks. They begin to grow and cultivate their own. They give people opportunities who've never had that chance but have that interest. Lena Taylor was the master of it. And the opportunities that she created within her office extended to things that people could do outside the office in terms of political campaigns. So pay attention to who works for these people. When they showing up, what they team looks like. When you come into a predominantly black community and you show up and nobody on your team, you ain't got nobody on your team of color to come with you. Nobody. Pay attention. Just pay attention. So let me go to the phone line. Got a couple people holding before I go to my next break. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hello?
Yes, hello?
Yes. I'd like to comment on that food truck deal.
Yes.
Let me say something to you. I'm interested in getting those food trucks away from here. I've seen businesses suffer. They oversaturated the area. Me and you get ready to open up a business. The first thing that all the people say when you go down and get your occupancy, in some cases even zoning, if the building ain't zoned for that. And even if it's zoned for that, they make you jump through hoops when you're in the black community. And they couldn't scream out the word saturation. Well, what is the saturation, the oversaturated apply for these trucks? You know, me as a black man in America, see, this is what I've been preaching and saying for years, and I ain't gonna stop it. I'm not interested in other people coming into this community, taking out what they can, and never ever getting them back. They ain't going down to Perkins and sit down there where Perkins ain't doing them, but they ain't going to no black-owned restaurants to spend no money. And that little fatty patty deal up there on 92nd and Burlock, little greasy spoon, you can't even wash your hands in them places. They handling the money and then making your taco. They try not to, but if it's only one person on the truck, they doing it. Okay, that's called cross-contamination in the food industry. And I think it's a bad thing. You downtown spending all that overhead to have a brick and mortar. You spending thousands and thousands of dollars monthly because you don't probably own the building, most likely. And then you got some jackleg truck sitting outside, and you know it's convenient. So instead of a person going in and getting something to eat, they run to the old greasy truck.
Isn't that called capitalism? Isn't that what Republicans love? Competition.
That's what all of us love. That's what you love.
So it's competition.
Now, do you not love capitalism?
So it's competition. So why are you upset about competition?
Do you not like capitalism? Do you not like capitalism?
You know, I can take it or leave it depending on what we're talking about.
Michelle,
sir,
let's be realistic,
sir.
You and I like to we like to get money. We don't.
So then why are you upset because somebody is in competition against a food truck?
Because of the simple fact it's not us.
It doesn't matter if it's us.
Black American. No.
You know what?
What
we talking about is business right now. This is business.
And that's correct.
And so if it's good for us, then it should be good for other people.
How is it good for us when they jump us through?
No, my point is that if we say we about fairness, then we need to be about fairness for everybody, not just foundational blacks who are on some nonsense, but it should be fair for everybody.
Hold on. Now, there are some wackos out there that don't understand the concept of looking out for black folks. They just done went crazy. Okay, them wackos. We ain't talking about them. But we talking about the black man that understand where he come from in this country and what kind of equity we have in this country. We got blood equity in this country, sweat equity in this country, tear equity in this country. And guess what? Some kind of way we seem to be bringing everybody in, giving our portion away. I've been saying this for years. The black man hold the number 2 position in this country, and we're giving it away. And as soon as them people, and I'm more afraid of the Hispanics than anybody, and the white boy is too. Now, once they get in Congress for real, they're going to create laws that's going to smack me and you right on out the picture. And we can sit around here and play this old come along, kumbaya, we all family with my black brother, my Mexican brother, all that. I never hear them say my black brother.
Well, you know what? If you get your people to show up, if you get your people to show up and vote, you wouldn't have these problems. But when you let other groups start outvoting you, outworking you, out being politically engaged in you, then you run into these problems. I just got done talking to people yesterday. 90 million people in this country didn't vote. Do you know how many of them are black? Do you know how many of them are black in this city that don't vote? So when you start talking about other people getting in power, you giving power away. So as opposed to beating up on Hispanics who may be trying to, or whatever group that's trying to gain some political power for themselves, we need to be somewhere. We need to have that same fire for our own community to make them get up and get engaged.
Well, that same smoke. You know what it might take, sadly?
What's that?
It might take, sadly, for those people to actually dominate us, so the generation coming behind us will realize that. And you know what the generation behind us gonna say? They gave it away. Our people let it happen. They didn't leave us nothing. They did this, and I can see that happening because we're saying it about the people that was in front of us.
No, we not. Because the people that was in front of us, particularly in the age bracket we in, they did all the damn heavy lifting. No, we're not saying that about the people that was in front of us.
Well, can I say no?
We're going to be a part of the problem of the people behind us, because so many of us got so busy living good and adapting, other folks' way of doing, that we forgot to keep teaching our history. We forgot to start, transferring cultural values. So a lot of us messed it up. It wasn't the people in front of us. My mama did what she was supposed to do. My granddaddy did what he was supposed to do. It happens when it is my turn to turn around and pass those values down. What did I do? What does my family look like? What does the community around me look like? Because I've had portions of my time
so what you saying
but I didn't live around black folks.
So what you saying is our generation done gave it away. We done tricked it off.
You damn right. And many of us, you damn right.
We tricked it off, and we still trying to help people gain back. But we know we done tricked it off, and we study inviting people in to have none of our interests at hand.
What I do, and I gotta go because I'm up against a break. But what I do is I try not to talk out both sides of my neck. If it's right, then it's right, and it's right for everybody. If it's wrong, then it's wrong, and it's wrong for everybody.
You got a break coming. I'll get back.
I appreciate you. Let me go say this real quick before we go to break. So there is this group, because somebody texted and said, Michelle, what is foundational blacks? What does that mean? This is about a group of people who only want to look at the concerns through the lens of black folks, through the lens of you was born in America. I'm not going back to Africa. On both your mama's side and your daddy's side, you needed to have come through the chattel slavery system. And because they're concerned that you got other black folks that didn't go through that process, you came from the continent or wherever, you came from, and you're in the country now. And so, you're getting the opportunities that were intended for African Americans who came through slavery. And so, when we talk about reparations, like they scared somebody that's from the continent, but who was never immediately impacted in terms of lineage by the slave trade might benefit from reparations. But I need people to understand this before I go to break. For the silly black foundational black people, like, oh, reparations, we were the ones impacted because we was in America. Where the hell you think they stole them from? So it was families in Africa who lost their sons, their daughters, their husbands and wives to slavery. You don't think them people owed nothing? Because it didn't just start here. They had to steal the people from somewhere. So you don't think that the people who actually suffered the original harm are equally entitled for compensation and reparations? Slavery didn't start on the shores of America. It started when they were snatching people from their homes and bringing them here and bringing them to Jamaica and all the different places around the world that the slave trade ends up running. But see, these silly Negroes want to say, no. If you wasn't directly impacted by slavery on American soil, then you should never be eligible for none of these programs. Hey, bruh. They stole the people from the folks in Africa in the first place. The original harm happened in Africa. It didn't happen here. The original harm. We're the byproduct of the original sin. The original injured person was the people and families that lost their family members to the transatlantic slave trade. They cousins, they brothers, they sisters. That's why y'all silly. Because you don't appreciate you didn't suffer the original sin. The original sin was suffered in the countries that lost their folks. And y'all want to act like these people don't have no stake in nothing. Only if you were born in America through chattel slavery, blah, blah, blah. That's why y'all silly. Because you don't understand. You're not the original individual that was harmed. The original people that were harmed were on the continent. How dare you say that they have nothing coming? How dare you say that they should benefit? Do you know how many people were taken in the transatlantic slave trade and how that impacts the communities, the villages that these people, the countries that these people come from? You have stole, resources in terms of their labor and their contributions, their mind, their academic, ability, intellectual wealth. You've stolen all of that from them countries. And you got silly black folks over here trying to say, if it didn't happen in America, you're not entitled to nothing. That's what makes y'all dumb. I got to go to break. I'll be right back. All right, family, welcome back to the show. Some other things I'm going to try to get to this morning. Got a caller, though. Let me get them in real quick. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Hello, I'm on the air.
Yes, you are.
Hi. I heard you say something about the foundational Black Americans. I think that's what it is, FBAs. And although I don't know much about it, I did just want to add just a little bit. It's my understanding that it's much broader than the whole reparations portion. And that a good portion of it has to do with like distinguishing Black Americans for the sake of Black American perspective. Especially when you think about like Elon Musk, he is African. So he's classified technically as an African American. So when people refer to African Americans, he, being a bad faith individual, he will use something like that to, his advantage, and, he speaks to it. But as far as like that Black American perspective, there are a lot of immigrants and a lot of natural African citizens, African-born individuals who come to America and who are still in Africa that speak disparagingly about us. They call us lazy. They discredit all the things that have unfortunately put us in the position that we're in, economically, socially, scholastically, and they attribute it to us just being bad individuals. I have personally, now this is anecdotal, I realize it, but I personally have friends who are immigrants, or rather who come from immigrant parents, and they've shared with me how their parents have told them that they shouldn't marry a Black American, although they themselves are Black. They shouldn't marry a Black American because of all of these stereotypes that are associated with Black people. And then, and again, anecdotal, there are a number of British like actors and actresses that end up getting roles that should reasonably go to a Black American. It's an opportunity to help launch another Black American's career. And after they take those roles, they then go back to their media outlets where they feel safe and safe spaces, and they make disparaging comments about us. So I think it's a much broader, and it's still a fairly new term. But I do think that it's much broader than just the whole, we shouldn't be separating ourselves from them, and we shouldn't be saying that they don't deserve to get some form of reparation, etc. Because they themselves are separating themselves from us. It's not purely us doing it. It seems like it's more of a response from us than an active movement from us to remove them from the equation. Because, like, to your point that you made earlier, Black Americans, when you were talking about DEI and how it helps everybody, when it came to the civil rights movement, we didn't try to do it only for us. We tried to do it for everybody because we realized that it would take everybody to push something that was so novel, something so just and righteous across the line. But you have those people that come into our country, and this is our country. They come to our country, they claim ownership of our country, and then they tell us how we are at the bottom because we are bad. So that's it. Just want to add that little piece.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate the call, bro. So let me respond and say a couple things to that. So first of all, you got to be able to differentiate between when somebody says I'm African American, because remember when what's his name was running for president, John Kerry, and his wife, who is a white woman from South Africa, she made the comment that she would be the first African American first lady, because if he had won, because she holds dual citizenship. So we know that dual citizenship is not the same thing as race. And while semantically you can use that term African American. Dual citizenship, if you look at the race question, it's not the same thing. One is citizenship, one is race. Okay. And that African American white person like Elon Musk, trust me, under the race question, which is where you find these terms on any application, he's never going to check black. He's going to always check white. So make sure that we making the distinction between citizenship, which is what Elon Musk is, if he wanted to say, I'm an African American, because he holds dual citizenship. Teresa Carey, I'm an African American because I hold citizenship in both Africa and in America. Is different from African American in terms of race. And that's one thing that I think we need to make sure we understand. Elon Musk is never checking the black box for race. So that's one. Number two, I am not going to get overly upset because to your point, while many of us have anecdotal stories about Africans, black Africans coming to this country who have adopted the colonizers' perspective, adopted some white people's perspective, negative perspectives about black people, and they come over here and act accordingly. They got their nose turned up. They think they better than us. They think they work harder than us. Because we got black folks in this country that do the exact same damn thing. I use the phrase all the time, white ice ain't colder. Because them same damn colonizers and their descendants convinced black people in America that black people was lazy, that black people's stuff and products weren't good. You wouldn't dare let black people fix your house, if certain things was going on, if you had real money. Now, if you had bootleg money, then you will go ahead and let a black person come in and do patchwork on your house. But if your money was in order, you always, that's where the phrase white ice is colder came from. Because black folks in this country, we ain't talking about the Africans, black folks in this country believed what white folks sold them about our inferiority. And when ice was sold on blocks, on the back of wagons, riding through communities, a black man could be selling a block of ice on his wagon. A white man could be selling a block of ice on his wagon, and black people would not buy the ice from the black man because they thought it was going to melt faster than the ice from the white man. That's where the phrase comes from. That's in America. When you look at the NBA and all them damn players is light-skinned right now, it's because a whole bunch of them black men thought it was better to get a white wife, a Hispanic wife. What did Carmelo Anthony say? When he came into the league, they told him it was time to upgrade. These is black folks born in this country who believe that white women. I just watched a comedian on YouTube the other day. I got to get his name. It was Mo something. And this white woman in the audience said to him, something like, do you mess with white women? Some crazy, she said. And the comedian was getting ready to answer her back. And this black American man stood and said, hey, wait a minute now. Don't say nothing out the way. That's my woman. Don't say nothing out the way. And the comedian said, your woman said something. What's his name? Yeah. And the comedian said, well, your woman asked me the question. And he said, well, she's special. Don't you say nothing crazy to her because she's special. And the comedian said to him, well, what make her so special? And the brother said, well, the first thing is because she white. I'm going to find that clip and play it, but it's so much cussing in it I can't play it. The whole audience, including white folks in the audience, was like, say what? And the comedian went to great lengths to check all that in. But this big doofus black American man literally stood up and said his woman was special. And when asked what makes her special, well, first of all, because she white. So please don't call me trying to tell me about how Africans think about black people when you got black people in this country who think the same way. They don't want to live next to black folks in the neighborhood. They don't want to go where other black folks are. Your Negroes don't know how to act. You know the number of black folks that won't go to Juneteenth because it's going to be too many black folks down there. Or, you know, and they think they make it better because they say it's going to be too many niggas down there. So, you know, that's the pot calling the kettle black. Now, it's plenty of black folks don't subscribe to that. But it's plenty that do. And all you got to do is look at the damn NBA. Good luck finding a sister married to a brother in the NBA. You can count them on two hands. I mean, it's some, you know, and there will be people say there are more black athletes married to black women than there are otherwise. But I'm still saying, look at the changing complexion of the brothers coming into the league now. Most of them kids is biracial. Look, I mean, so don't try to tell me about, you know, black hate outside of the continent or the country, because we do it to each other every day. Every day we do it. These people have so poisoned the well in making us distrust one another, look down on one another. The minute we get money, we move away from one another. And not the caller, because I know who that caller was. But overall, many of us do the same thing. If we go to a restaurant, too many black people start coming, we don't want to go there no more. That's true. The minute, and they ain't causing no problems. They just there. The minute y'all see too many black people, all of a sudden now that spot ain't good enough for you no more. Because you got to be up under white folks' ass. I'll be right back.
On WNOV.
Clark, can you scroll through the comments? Because there was a comment in there I saw when I was talking to the caller, and it's go up a little bit more. Go up a little bit more. Hang on, because it starts off with ma'am. It said like, ma'am, that's not what it is, or something like that. I want to see if I can find that comment because I wanted to respond to that. Let me go to the phone line real quick. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Hey, you guys, you know, I look at a lot of our people, just like Mandela Barnes, and I'm not a fan of his, but you know, I look at David Crowley, and there was some people out doing some protesting and looking and trying to get us to vote for other people. But I look at our people. When you know your background and where you come from, and you learn to hold up the banner for your own people, and you see the worth of where you come from and who you are, where you're heading to, you'll stop going for these other folks that really don't have any interest in our rights and what we really want in our society. You know, when you really look at your history, where you come from, what happened to you, and how you were treated, you'll really learn more about who you are and what your interests need to be. And you'll quit running after these other people that really don't care about your interests in the community. Now, I'm not voting for David Crowley because he's a black man, but he knows the job. He's done the job. He has receipts for the things he's done in the community. And yes, he had, you know, a lot of things that a lot of people look at, they say, well, he did, well, the man got himself in the door. And we need to keep him there and need to elevate him for our rights. Because in our communities, we need people our color and willing to fight for our rights to get better for our children to come. God bless you.
All right. Thank you, bro. I appreciate the call. Let me catch this next caller. Hey, caller, what's happening? Hello? All right. Thank you. Let me just say this. Somebody said, and this was a comment I wanted to go back and grab. No, ma'am. This is on social media. No, ma'am. Wrong definition, and silly is associating reparations for crimes in America with the crimes in Africa, where people were exchanged, not stolen. if you're going to tell us, if you're going to say it all. While some people who had been captured by other tribes were then exchanged with white folks, the majority of them were stolen. The majority of them were stolen. They were not all exchanged. So this whole subtle black folks gave other black folks away narrative, that was a small percentage. There were 18 million people on estimations that were taken from the continent. 18 million black folks were not exchanged. So if you're going to say that, say it correctly. Don't just leave out this general statement, they were exchanged. Get the hell out of here with that. The majority of them were stolen. And the damage that was done to the continent, you take away girls of childbearing age, you take away young men, labor, who could, build these communities and grow up these communities. You leave a bunch of older people on the continent. You get rid of their farmers, their craftspeople, the agriculture sector. All of this stuff is depleted. I don't know how black folks think that it is fair to talk about reparations only in America because the people that you claiming in America originated from Africa. No black person just, there was no immaculate conception and you just was born in America. You are denying where people came from in the first place. The original sin, the original harm was done in Africa. And just like Americans are giving Jewish people money for a Holocaust that did not happen here, there is nothing wrong with Americans giving money back to folks on the continent where you stole them damn people from. I wish I would separate myself. I don't care how you act. That does not dictate how I act. If it's right, then it's right. And if you haven't figured that out, that's on you. But I'm not going to start acting shady and shysty because you shady and shysty. I got to take a break. You will not get me to act like what happened on the continent at the hands of white folks around this world who divvied up the continent like it was their personal playground. Don't owe. That's why it's so easy to rob and defeat and deplete the resources of the continent, because you weakened the continent significantly because you stole the youngest, healthiest people. The people that could have been the soldiers to fight y'all when y'all showed up trying to rob them of natural resources and people. So no, don't use no word talking about exchange like 18 million people was exchanged by other black folks. Man, go on with that. I'll be right back.
Say Something Real with your host, Michelle Bryant on WNOV.
All my life, I had to fight.
All my life.
Look, I'm already tired. I was tired before I came in the studio this morning and got to wrestle with you folks about these foundational Black Americans. I'm sorry. I'm not with it. I'm not with it. I'm not looking for another way to separate myself from people who look like me. I'm not with it. Let me go to the phone line. Hey, caller, what's happening?
Yeah, Michelle.
Yes, sir.
There was a caller that called in earlier, and he was very eloquently spoken. Not the last caller, but the caller before him. He was talking about how the African, how Elon Musk can be an African American and all of that stuff. And he was very well spoken. I mean, I couldn't beat the dude if I wanted to. The big brother was laying it out. Though what I'm saying, and I've been saying it for years, it's ain't something new for me. Not my family, none of that, because we've been taught not to be suffering from the adopted child syndrome. See, when you're suffering from the adopted child syndrome, that means you're forever waiting and looking and searching for a parent or parents that you'll never find, because this was a closed adoption. You know, putting it in layman's terms, it's a closed adoption. You're not going to find it. I mean, you're looking back into your ancestral tree. And now, the people that said that we were traded, that was a wrong comment in your comments. Listen, if you really want to get technical, the Arabs is the one that actually had the African. The Africans did business with the Arabs. The Arabs wind up doing business with the white folk. And white folks said, man, we're going to cut the middleman out. And they they start getting black folk, right? Come got us, okay? That's how we wound up here. So and then you got some black folk who say, we was already on the land. Well, if you start claiming that, then you shoot reparations in the foot altogether, because now you're saying I was here already. So that's something that I detour people away from. But I do want people to understand that if you don't work the land, then you should not eat off the land. You can purchase what's off the land. The African in this country right now do not, even the Indians, even the Mexicans, they don't breed with us, okay? If the African came in here and bred with us to help our numbers go up, we still stagnated at a raggedy 45 million. The Hispanics are right now at 62 million. Those are the ones that we can count, because Hispanic people that speak the language breed with each other. They ain't all from Mexico, but they claim the Mexican diaspora once they sorry about not diaspora, but they claim the ethnicity of the Mexican, okay, when they breed in here. So that keeps their numbers rising. The African is so loyal to that Arab right now. If you go to an Arab gas station, because we were squawking around the country about why we are not being hired in these little gas stations. I mean, it's a low paying.
Hang on, bro. Hang on. Hey, Meech, I'm up against. It's Tuesday. You know, I end early on Tuesday.
Oh wow.
So go ahead.
Anyway, you know something. Since you want to mess around and
bro, look now. I'm trying to be nice. I just said I end early on Tuesday, so just go ahead and wrap your comments.
Nice. I like you to be mean. I like you to
wrap your comments before I hang up on
you. Okay, my comment is to bring this back when you got time one day, and we can fellowship about it. Because that other brother was eloquent. He laid it out eloquently.
Thanks, me. Raise it all the damn saying. Talk about some fellowship. Rivera Roman put a lengthy thing in the chat talking about, basically, it sounds like 3 different legs of the FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, kind of thinking. And I'm going to just say this. When they get their own thoughts together, then they can come holler at me. Because you got all these different branches. No, we this. No, we this. No, we about this. No, we about this. All of it, for me, does not work. None of it works for me. Because I'm not getting ready to overlook what happened, the original sin. I'm not getting ready to overlook that. I don't care. I don't care what nobody say. The overwhelming majority of Black people did not come to this country because y'all was already here with indigenous people because of, you know, like I said, osmosis. I'm not getting ready to overlook. And even if you were here, you came from somewhere. You were not just dropped out of Jesus's arms onto what we know as America today. That's not how it happened. That's not how this works. So this was not the conversation for today, but evidently it was necessary. Tomorrow, I hope I get to talk about the fact that, you know, Tucker Carlson said he ain't riding with the Republicans no more. Hilarious. Joy Reid says she may not be supporting Democrats if they keep supporting Israel. Interesting. The report that comes out that says Israel, 30% of the people that they killed was children during this whole back and forth since the whole thing with the Palestinians. 30% was children. What they're trying to do right now in Lebanon is completely wipe these people off the face of the earth. They're trying to kill away their problems with other people. They only gonna make it worse for themselves. So we're gonna have those conversations. Right now, I need to wrap the show. I appreciate everybody that weighed in. I certainly understand and value the different perspectives. Russ, thank you. Family, I'll talk to y'all tomorrow. Peace.